Hi everyone, I'm Susan here for our next Tuesday Shelf Talk. This week I'm talking about Jasper Fforde's latest novel, The Constant Rabbit. We hold the book in regular print in the popular genre, although it's definitely also fantasy and sci-fi. I've long been a fan of Fforde, following his Thursday Next series, and I also greatly enjoyed Shades of Grey, so when I saw he had a new book coming out, I was excited to read it. The story on its surface is quite absurd, as you might expect from this author. So in the 1960s, an anthropomorphic event occurred that led to 18 rabbits developing human size and intelligence. Considering rabbits' ability to breed quickly, there were soon many more, and with them came anti-rabbit sentiment from many humans, exploitation and attempts to scapegoat and control. In spite of this rather grim-sounding history, there's lots of great wordplay, humour and cultural references to enjoy. If there's a rabbit joke to be made, Fforde makes it. So it's funny and clever and the pace moves along quickly. The story is allegorical, looking at racism, Brexit-era Britain and to some extent also climate change and environmental concerns through a completely fantastical and ridiculous lens. Fforde tackles serious issues, but he certainly doesn't take himself seriously, commenting that the anthropomorphic event that resulted in human-like rabbits was likely satirical in nature. There are quite a few times when he makes tongue-in-cheek comments directed at himself and the book, such as that having 2 F's in your name is pretentious. 2 F's. If you follow British politics, you'll recognise much of modern Britain here, such as the UKARP, or United Kingdom Anti-Rabbit Party, and the smaller but no less brutal politics of the local village. Taking a step back from the funny silliness of a book about talking rabbits, you can easily see how the restrictions, suspicion, discrimination and harassment applied to the rabbits is happening right now to human beings. The main character, Peter, is a rather hapless, everyman type he's rather drawn along with the events rather than having much agency of his own. But there's a quote that I like where he says, "I'm not a good person." And he recognises that while he's not actively speciesist against rabbits, he does make leprophobic jokes, he doesn't speak up against injustice against rabbits, and he benefits from anti-rabbit structures. So he doesn't think that he's done enough. But another rabbit answers, "You did something. It's the most people can do. We're not all revolutionaries, but enough people challenging the problem can make a difference." So this is one of the messages that Fforde is trying to send to we readers. Sometimes he might push it a little bit too obviously or earnestly, but I enjoyed it. So I really got a kick out of the beginning of the book as well, where Peter assists with the weekly 6 minutes of speed librarying. So libraries have had their funding so reduced that each branch gets only 6 minutes of staffed open time per week. So Peter and his volunteers assist the librarian to get all the essential library tasks completed in time with military precision. They need to do this, or the inspectors, whose hiring cost almost as much as the library funding reduction saved, these inspectors will dock their time next week. So this is certainly Fforde's comment on library closures and underfunding in the UK, but it's delivered in a most amusing style. Another thing I liked about this book was an unexpected reference to Goulburn. So it seems that in this alternate universe, there may have been an anthropomorphic event in Australia about 11 years after the British event, ours involving wombats. The government acted quickly to shut it down and made the wombats disappear. A merino also involved in the event. He was called Rambo. He survived for a while and gave several interviews suggesting that people visit Goulburn as it's really jolly nice, but then later he was found shot dead. The townspeople of Goulburn were so outraged that they created a huge statue in his honour. So I'm not sure when Welsh writer Fforde visited us, but I really was quite tickled that he chose to include a reference to our town in his book. So if you've enjoyed other books by Fforde, or you enjoy writers like Terry Pratchett, Douglas Adams, Christopher Moore, Connie Willis, those sorts of people, you'll probably enjoy Fforde's writing and this novel. So that's The Constant Rabbit by Jasper Fforde. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you again next week for another Tuesday Shelf Talk. Bye!